coast to coast, it's your hosts, the Lombardi Leap and Mersey FB. This is Beyond the Frozen Tundra.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Lombardi Leap, here with Mersey FB. Let's talk Packers football. Hopefully, we have more than one more wild ride. Saturday night, Soldier Field, possibly a winter wonderland. This is third time's the charm. I guess that's not really the word. We're split 50-50. We beat them at Green Bay. They beat us due to a series of unfortunate events at Chicago. We go back to Chicago here. Bears are the 2 seed. This is the third meeting this season. Familiarity tends to breed intensity. This is a go big or go home, literally. And if you're the Bears, you don't have to go far. Go home.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as the third time. Hopefully we're healthier this week. We hit the magic number of 16 people on injured reserve. That's the 2010 number.
Those of you who do remember that. Yeah, the 2010 number. I think going into this game, there are really kind of two storylines. Packers, it's urgency and familiarity because we're used to this. 7th seed. Like, this has been us the last 3 years. The Bears, they're kind of, and I want to get your opinion on this. I'm not really a big believer in momentum as much as I used to be. I am in the moment, but more so, I have come to the realization that matchups are going to meet and exceed expectations more than any momentum is going to give you. And what I mean by that is I don't care that we lost the Vikings. I don't care that we lost the Bears, and I don't care that we lost to Denver. I care a little bit about Denver. I shouldn't say that, but mainly it's the Bears and the Vikings. I don't care that we lost to them because of the manner in which we did lose to them. And so that's why I take the momentum thing with a grain of salt. The Bears are really trying to play this, oh, we're the underdog kind of a thing. And dude, you're not the 7th seed here for starters, and you're healthier. Like that is the reality of the situation here. Packers, it's urgency. And we can say what we want about Matt LaFleur and his job. You and I both believe that he should continue to coach and be the coach of the Green Bay Packers. There is a little bit of urgency there. Like, I think that there's going to be questions if Packers go into Lambeau Field and completely lay an egg. That you're going to be like,
Soldier
do
Field,
we do
not
this or
Lambeau,
not?
but
Kind of a thing. Yeah, sorry, Soldier Field. Yeah, if we go into Soldier Field and lay an egg, it's going to be, okay, what do we do here? So my question for you is how much are you kind of playing into this? The Bears are looking to keep this momentum going. They want validation because everybody's been calling them a fake 2 seed. And the Packers, it's, hey, we've been here before. We know what to do. We know what we need to do to get it done. And we do have a sense of urgency.
When you look back at 2023, what we were able to do against Dallas as the 7th seed, it feels a little familiar to that this year. Specifically, our top 3 wide receivers this year are healthy heading into the playoffs compared to when we played last year at Philly. We were down to Bo Melton. We're coming in healthier. Yes, we're riding that 4-game loss streak, but I don't think that matters as much. Like Javon Bullard said after the game, he says, we're just focused on beating the crap out of the next team we play. That's all he said. Whereas when you look at the Bears,
I was going to say Georgia guy too. Hard to kill. I think that's the mantra right there. Just saying.
When you look at the Bears, their defense has been good, but they feasted off of turnovers. Jordan, you get him he won't turn the ball over often this season. He's improved in that sense from year 2 to year 3 as a starter. Josh Jacobs doesn't fumble the ball all that often, because if you look at week 17, you take away his fumble at the 3-yard line, and then the fumbled snap in overtime, and you win that game as well.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fluky turnovers.
At some point, you think the fluky turnovers will start working your way, which could happen in this winter wonderland of a game. If the forecasts hold true?
I do think you do bring up a valid point there with Green Bay, with the Packers, and their losses felt different.
Most of our losses have been in 1-score games, too. So 4 losses in 1-score games.
The real kind of fluky game I felt like was the Baltimore Ravens. And a lot of that we talked about this. A lot of that I contribute to how many people have to play against a giant of a running back and one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Yeah. And that kind of plays into what Chicago might lean towards doing this week in the playoffs, is just really running the ball and forcing us to stop them and then leaning into play action.
Which I'm okay with, and here's why. But before I get into that, though, I'm talking I kind of brought up our losses, and I want to kind of highlight Chicago's losses here. Our losses, again, Minnesota, I don't care. It's Coon, whatever. Baltimore, okay. Luke, I feel like that was definitely a pounding, but Malik Willis was still the starter. I do think that's a little bit of a different game if Jordan Love is playing. Chicago, obviously, we know what happened there. And then Denver, you lose Micah Parsons. Okay, losing Micah Parsons was definitely an emotionally taxing moment. So it's not necessarily that these losses were anything that was related to glaring inconsistencies that we weren't aware of. With Chicago, they're playing inconsistent football coming into the playoffs right now. It took them an OT against us with Jordan Love going down and some stuff going their way. They head at San Francisco. Their defense leaks like a sieve against a San Francisco team that does not have any semblance of a pass rush at this point. And their defense is I'd say a little less good than ours at this point. And then they go into Detroit. They play Detroit at home. Realistically, that's their demon, you know, because it's Ben Johnson's former home. The Lions absolutely hate them, and they can't even beat Detroit. And everybody's saying that Dan Campbell's a Ben Johnson merchant. Well, that narrative gets shot because Detroit had nothing to play for except for their pride and ego. And then their offense only scores 16 points, and that Detroit defense doesn't really have much of a pass rush or a secondary.
Well, they have pretty good pass rush still. Hutch is still
there, yeah. But generally, outside of Aiden Hutchinson and that offensive line, which
doesn't Al-Quadin Muhammad have like double-digit sacks too? Or
does he really?
Did I dream that? He's got 11. That's a little bit of Al-Quadin Muhammad erasure there.
Okay. So maybe they do have a little bit of better pass rush than I thought. My bad, folks. I do not know ball apparently in that moment. But anyways, that doesn't take away from my point, though, that the Chicago Bears have been playing some inconsistent football. And I do strike that in contrast to Green Bay Packers. This doesn't mean that Green Bay has been perfect. Obviously, there are some things you want to clean up here, 100%. And we will get into that when looking at what it takes to win. I do definitely want to highlight, before we kind of talk about matchups and game plans here, I mean, dude, and you mentioned earlier, we're coming in healthier, but we do need to talk about who's healthy enough to execute. It's a double-edged sword here. Cole Melton, bummer. It doesn't sound like it's an ACL or anything like that, but he's going to go on IR. He's going to be done for the rest of the year. On the bright side, though, Nick Niemann is back, so you replace one special teamer for another. It's just one happens to be Budget or Dollar Store or Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Van Ness, sorry, on injury. Van Ness, full participant. Past 2 days off his foot injury, so he's finally healthy. Love Jacobs not on the injury report. Bullard is dealing with that knee injury he sustained against the Vikings. He said he'd be good to go for the game. Brinson popped up with a foot injury. Don't know about that, but he's limited these past 2 days. He should also be good to go. That's about it.
Yeah, I think the biggest story for us, though, is Zach Tom. 100%. Like, having Zach Tom back, one of our best, if not, I mean, I would say Zach Tom is probably the third most important person to the offense. You think that's a fair thing to say?
Yes. Actually, he's the second most important person to the offense.
Yeah.
And we've seen in the games when he's been out that we just don't function the same.
It is a big difference. Even the run game is better with him in there. It's tough because, I could coin flip it with Watson.
Well, yeah.
I really could.
In my mind, the hierarchy is Jordan Love, Zach Tom, Kraft, Watson, Jacobs.
I could vibe with that.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And having, obviously, everybody except for Kraft, I think that's awesome. Especially, like you said, Zach Tom protecting the right side is huge against a very, I'd say, somewhat middling pass rush for the Chicago Bears here, who are dealing with injuries, but they seem to be getting healthier. Obviously, like C.J. Gardner-Johnson and two other guys, I think they're linebackers, are dealing with concussions. They're two. Dude, I'm not even going to try and say his name. Say his name for me. It's not my forte.
The linebacker?
Joe Tyrone.
Joe Tyrone. Oh, my God. I've said this name for, years because I've been a fan of him. Joe Tryon Shoyinka.
There you go.
And then the other one, ooh, yeah. No, I don't think I got that. I don't want to butcher his name pronunciation.
Oh, yeah. Amen. That's
Yeah.
what we'll call him.
The linebacker,
That's his
Amen.
first name.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. And then Joe is Shoinenka is a defensive lineman. Most likely, they're not. Those guys aren't going to play.
CJ Gardner-Johnson as well sustained a concussion against the Lions. He probably won't go as well.
The biggest story, though, is the overall health of Kyler Gordon, Rome, and DJ Moore.
Oh, don't forget about Braxton Jones as well, but listed as a full participant over the past 2 days.
Yeah, he's back, though. I don't really see too much. I know he's been out for a while, but that'll definitely help their offensive line a bit more here. I mean, but obviously the bigger stories are DJ Moore banged up. Rome Odunze has been dealing with a major foot injury, hasn't played in about 5 weeks. And then Kyler Gordon is coming back from a groin injury here. And their secondary has been getting eaten alive this year, or specifically in these last couple of games, especially. And them not getting turnovers just sets them up to fail here. I mean, we have 16 players on I know we've said this before, and we kind of briefly mentioned this in the beginning. If injuries weren't enough, another factor that's probably going to show up on Soldier Field in January, it'll be cold. And it's Chicago, the Windy City, but I do hope it snows,
Yeah, it would be a little fun.
Like, it would be kind of a nice snow game. And I know the Bears like to run the ball, but in games like this, Mother Nature can become the third coordinator. So when health and weather in mind,
yeah, snow games tend to benefit offenses as well because they know where they're going. Defenses don't. So it's easier for wide receivers to make the cuts and everything because they know how the play is supposed to go.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely there. And field conditions are going to be interesting too, to kind of see how that goes. What are you looking at? You said Packers offense versus Bears defense here. You mentioned how this tends to favor offenses, unless you're our special teams, knock on wood. What are we doing here for the Packers?
I think you stick with the same offensive game plan that you've had the past 2 games against the Bears.
It ain't broke.
Yeah. I will also give Matt LaFleur credit. One thing that he's very good at is learning from his mistakes against teams. And having played the Bears 3 times, or this will be the 3rd time they have played the Bears, I expect him to realize what didn't work exactly quite as well the second time, and then he'll just toss that out of the playbook and install different plays. Wasn't there a screen pass to Emmanuel Wilson that got blown up?
There was one where he timed it perfectly and he got a screen pass off at the right time, but screen pass calling can be hit or miss.
Yeah. He'll do that. Their secondary is getting exposed, especially over the middle. I don't think right now they don't have the speed to carry Watson across the middle of the field. So I would do that pretty early. And and when we played them the second time, there were a bunch of big plays we left on the field because we had Malik Willis at quarterback and he didn't get through the read enough to see the big play.
Pretty much one read and run.
Yeah. Which is also part of the reason why Zach Tom is so important to this offense is because he gives you more time to get through the read. Running the ball too with Jacobs as well, if he's fully healthy and good to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that definitely plays into the tempo thing that Green Bay likes to control. Because, Jeff Hapley's all about limiting offensive snaps, and so that means Green Bay's just going to have to capitalize on the possessions they do have. What do you think Matt LaFleur's going to do to be better in the red zone this time?
Well, Nathaniel Hackett was at practice today, which is any indication that's a good sign.
What do we call that? The gold zone?
Yeah, better red zone efficiency, which I think comes through play action and runs between the tackles if Tom is there. With a healthier Jacobs, healthier Tom, the offensive line will be better because you don't have to dedicate sliding a protection one way or another. So you will actually be able to run between the tackles this time, which is nice. That'll help. You're able to do more play action stuff. And I think it's just actually players have to execute in the moment. We can't have the critical drops. We can't have if anyone slips on a route, that's just going to be awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got to have the right cleats on right away. 100%. Got to have the right cleats on.
I have a question for you on offense. Do you think they put Jordan Morgan in at left tackle over Rasheed Walker?
I mean, I would. They should. They won't.
We're about the same train of thought there, right?
Yeah. I would. They should. They won't. I think they're going to try and maintain as much consistency as they can. And right now, that is, what you You know what Rashid's going to do. I wish they would start Morgan because I think he would do better. I think it would give you the opportunity to chip on one side or the other, and that would just create offensively more chaos for the defense too as well. But I just don't see that happening right now.
So flipping over to their defense, what do you think we have to do defensively to stop Chicago?
Yeah. Man, like we know Caleb Williams is very, very good at avoiding sacks. And the Packers haven't been the greatest at getting sacks as of late because Micah Parsons. I do think that one of the ways that defensively you need to tackle. You have to tackle. You cannot let them get yards after catch. You can't let Burden get yak plays. You can't let Loveland get those yak plays because those are their two most healthy. Those are their two healthiest receiving targets. You have injured DJ Moore. You have injured Rome Odunze coming back from a foot injury. Like those guys aren't going to be at full health. And then the caveat, the pinnacle of all this that's been our focus for the last 4 weeks is what are you going to do against the run? It's important to note that last time we played the Bears, we did not have Evan Williams.
Right. I forgot about that. That's a big addition.
Yeah.
The way Evan comes down to the second and even first level of the defense sometimes from the free safety position is remarkable and fills a gap enthusiastically against the run.
Yeah, absolutely. So having Evan Williams back at that safety spot with Javon Bullard in that nickel spot is going to do wonders for this run game defense. I like Jonathan Ford. I think he's going to get the start, or he's going to be activated over Nazir Stackhouse. He showed better production here against a pretty solid offensive line in Minnesota. I do think too that you need to prevent these big plays from Chicago, and it's going to start by preventing them from happening in the run game. And in addition to like Ford and the big two being Bullard and Evan Williams, Diggs can tackle. And I think that he is going to get the start over Carrington Valentine, who has struggled to tackle in the run game, especially. Mm-hmm. Just having him there, if you can limit these gashing plays and keep them at the line of scrimmage, it's going to force Caleb Williams is going to miss throw. We know that. I think he's like 58% completion percentage. He is not that accurate of a quarterback. He's been better at avoiding sacks, but in terms of his ability to hit his wide receivers, it hasn't been pretty. It's definitely one thing that he needs to work on. He's really good. I mean, he's really good at avoiding sacks. I said that I can't stress that enough here. But if the Packers can just prevent these yak plays, prevent these deep runs consistently. Like I expect them to once in a while here for this to happen because no defense is going to be perfect. But if you can limit these gashing runs, it's going to put the ball in Caleb Williams' hands. And with this cold weather, Chicago, and his not the greatest accuracy this year, that is going to give the Packers so much more of an opportunity to come out on top with a bigger win than I think most people would realize.
And if we get them into obvious passing downs, like 3rd and long, you're not going to. Over the 2 games that we've played the Chicago Bears, we've gotten 1 sack. That was JJ Enagbari. What do you think about rushing 3 and then dropping 8? Because we aren't going to get to Caleb. And I would rather not dedicate an extra man to trying to drop Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, is like with Caleb Williams, the more time you give him outside of the pocket specifically, the more likely he is to make a big play.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to depend on who they're starting at defense, who's active at defensive. Mm-hmm. Like that's going to determine who I think how Green Bay can force a mistake is going to depend on who's active at defensive end. Is it going to be Oliver? Is it going to be Sorrell? Is it going to be Brenton Cox Jr.? Brenton Cox Jr. has a history of playing well against the Bears.
I think they activate 10 defensive linemen, or they have 10 defensive linemen active. Sorry. 4 of them will be defensive tackles, and then the remaining 6 will be DNs with the top 4 of Rashawn Gary, JJ Enagbari, LVN, Aaron Mosby only for his special team value, and then you have Sorrell and BCJ.
That's what I was kind of leaning towards too, because Oliver isn't really going to do much for you in the run at this point.
And if you're like, oh, you're only having 5 or 4 defensive tackles, isn't that like a little slim on depth for you? And yes, it is, but you can have LVN as like your 5th defensive tackle should you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. 100% there. And if it gets to that point too, you have other concerns.
Yeah. Because I'm like 90% sure him and Colby Wooden are within like 10 pounds of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colby Wooden, 6'4", 273. Lucas Van Ness, 6'5", 272. So
that's insane.
They're pretty much the same. Additionally, I think a lot of the pressure of this game, if we are going to get to Caleb, is going to come through the A gap with either Quay or Cooper.
They like to blitz Quay a lot more than they do like to blitz Cooper.
Mm-hmm. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to get to him, I think that's how it's going to have to happen. I would like to see, in 2024, we disguised we disguised coverage a lot because we couldn't get pressure. In 2025, when we had Micah, we didn't disguise as much, but we could get pressure because he was just the animal off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see us disguise pressure a little. I keep saying disguise pressure. Disguise coverage a little more, like pre-snap. Maybe use some shuttles, anything to kind of throw Caleb off, make him process a little more.
What did I say the last 2 episodes about Caleb Williams that he struggles with?
Processing and accuracy.
He struggles with disguised coverages, specifically when it comes to your safeties. When Caleb Williams has played against an elite safety duo with good linebackers, he makes mistakes. You have Xavier McKinney, Evan Williams. I'm pretty sure, didn't we, like, the first Bears game we played again, didn't Evan Williams, like, drop an interception or something like that? It probably happened.
I think they both
Somebody
did.
dropped an interception. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Xavier McKinney did, too. Mm-hmm. Yes. That can't happen. Yeah. He baited him. That 100% cannot happen. Like, when you disguise the coverage against Caleb Williams, he struggles with it. He does struggle with it. So that is an excellent point. And Jeff Hafley, I think now is the time. If you're going to disguise coverage, it is time to ramp it up. Because you have guys who are elite guys on your defense still. And one of those is Xavier McKinney.
And Trayvon Diggs, who was just picked up, Hafley said in his presser that, like, Trayvon's picking up the playbook great. There isn't really an issue with any coverages like that. He's a great communicator.
He's a bigger corner, too.
Mm-hmm. So if Trayvon's starting, that'll be a boost to the defense as well.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I know I was asking you about your X factors, but he's honestly one of my X factors, is how he performs. And I know it's a lot to put on a guy who just played here, who just got here literally a week ago, and has only played 34 snaps in a Green Bay Packers uniform. But if you have one corner who's at least serviceable, that is going to have a tremendous impact on the field of play and what you're able to do with that defense. Defensively for you, who are you looking at as an X factor?
Defensively?
Yeah.
I mean, Xavier McKinney is like the obvious answer if he can come down with an interception or two.
Xavier McKinney is the obvious answer, yeah. I don't really know who on the defensive line you want to put that much of a pressure on. So I just put it all on.
Like, I mean, if like Colby Wooden plays good football, then that helps.
I got a low key feeling about Jonathan Ford. I don't know why. I don't have
a little bit of a revenge game.
Yeah, I don't have any rhyme or reason or anything like that. I just something in my heart. I think it was because I saw the BJ Raji interception today. Somebody played it. Yeah. And for some odd reason, I just feel like that's going to be a Jonathan Ford play.
If our defensive tackles can stop the run, like if that shows up early, then we win. That really helps us. But like Ben Johnson has the tendency to like move away from the run to establish the pass. So we just need one defensive lineman to be a disruptor.
One defensive lineman that says, I'm going to be a dog today and I'm not going to let any running back get through me.
Yeah.
That is going to severely limit, because as of right now, I don't believe the Bears offense can win by passing the ball. Whereas the Packers offense, I know we can win by passing the ball. In fact, I've wanted us to pass the ball more because of who Jordan Love is as a quarterback.
I will say I think this will be a high scoring game.
You think it's going to be a high scoring game?
Oh, for sure.
Despite of the weather.
Oh, for sure.
Well, who offensively besides Jordan Love then are you kind of looking at, okay, I need this guy to step up. I need this guy to be the guy on defense who's going to be the guy on offense. Who do you think that's going to be?
Like Watson's been that guy and he's stepped up. I think Watson will have a good game. Will he have stepped up? No, because he's been playing at that level.
He is up.
I think this could be a good Wicks game if he plays. Like similar to like the Detroit Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that's I like that. Okay.
Jacobs could be one that you look at to step up now that he's fully healthy.
I'm going with Reed's in for the season.
Okay.
I think Reed is due one, especially, and the way how depleted that secondary is, and just how beat up it is. Like I think they're going to aggressively plan for Christian Watson, and that is going to leave some random no name named like Nick McLeod or one-legged Kyler Gordon on fully healthy Jaden Reed in the slot.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to be an issue all game for them. I mean, because we saw if you had a chance to watch the Lions game, Amon-Ra St. Brown ate.
He did do really well.
Absolutely ate that secondary there. They had a better quarterback, they would have blown the Bears out of the water, I think. But they had Jared Goff. That's who I'm leaning towards here is Jaden Reed and Diggs. And hey, Diggs, like a lot of pressure for you. Welcome to Green Bay.
This is your moment. Hey, you want people to remember who you were 2 seasons ago. This is the time.
Yeah, 100%.
You want Green Bay to think about keeping you around next year? This is the time. Will he be around next year? Probably, just because we have nobody else. But like this will be the time to show it.
Yes, it will be. So my question for you: the Packers walk out with a win on Soldier Field, have a date with the Seattle Seahawks next week?
I think it's likely, yes.
I don't want to know. I want to know what it like. You think yes or no? Not likely. Yes or no?
Yeah. Well, because when you think about it, it's Caleb's first playoff game. It's Ben Johnson's first playoff game as a head coach. So more responsibility on him. This organization hasn't touched the playoffs in what, 5 years?
7 years? 7 years? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
They're going to be antsy. The ref crew that they got for this game calls a lot of like unsportsmanlike penalties.
They were chippy last time.
The Chicago Bears were the ones who like started it. So
all the time.
I think that might work in our favor too. I think we get a win, but I think we're either looking at like 34-31 or like 21-17. It's either of those two scores.
I'm running on pure hopium.
Okay.
I really am. Like
this game could go either way. This is like a very 50-50 game in my mind.
In your mind, I think on paper the Packers deserve. Not the Packers deserve. I think the Packers should win. On paper, the Packers should win. Like realistically, like I do believe that. I believe we have better matchups. I do believe that we have the better quarterback. I do believe right now we have the better coach, contrary to what other people may say.
Okay.
And I know that's a bold statement. I know, but people want to anoint Ben Johnson as this amazing coach already, and I credit more of Ben Johnson's success to a gentleman by the name of Al Harris in that secondary than I do necessarily to Ben Johnson this year. Because, like you said, those turnovers have propelled them to victories. And turnovers, we know this is a Packers team. Last year, we had way more turnovers. This year, we only had like 6 or something like that. And turnovers are fluky. I think the Packers they are playing with a chip on their shoulder. They see what everybody's saying out there. They still have, like, Aaron Rodgers may have left the building, but Aaron Rodgers' mentality is still in that building. I firmly do believe that cultural mindset, and I think you saw that with what Bullard said. We're gonna get after it. We're gonna beat the snot out of the next team. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be hard to kill. I think this is going to be similar to the Dallas Cowboys game.
Okay.
And I really do. I think it's going to be a 34-18, 34-17.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen for the Packers. I think they're going to knock on the door, keep punching it in. You're going to see Matt LaFleur at the end of that press conference say, well, didn't beat me 2 times this year. On to Seattle.
Yeah.
So that's my hopium here. I do expect it to be physical. I do expect it to be tense. It's obviously at Soldier Field Saturday night. This is it. This could be our last game. Episode 40, man. Our last game of the season. Kind of crazy. I'm ready to witness the rivalry take another step in the Packers' favor. I don't know about you.
Well, the rivalry will take another step, that's for sure.
Yes.
the one thing I pray we win, because I don't think I could handle an offseason just being like, you lost to the Bears in the playoffs. Like, that would be the worst.
Yeah, losing to your division rival. I do not want our season to be ended by the Bears. And so that's why I don't think we will. I think we get one more week, at least.
I think we get one more week, too, but this game could go either way.
Well, let's hope it goes one way. That's all, folks. Until next time. Go Pack, go.
To Packers fans coast to coast, thanks for going beyond the frozen tundra. We appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pack, go!